in the Therapeutic Center of Agia Skepi?
Okay. Agia Skepi runs on the model of therapeutic community. Therapeutic community is actually a treatment model that originated in the United States, came in Europe in the early 80s, and we have actually copied that model. We have adjusted it to our country and our culture, and we have also incorporated in our efforts a spiritual component to it. Because we do believe that a person is both, physical, mental, and spiritual, and you need to cater for all of that. We have a very holistic approach to that if we require people to change their lives all over. We have very, very good outcomes. I would say roughly 1 in 2 people will make it. Our success rate is 52%, including those people that drop out. If I look at the people that have completed all phases and graduated from the program, our success rate is more than 70%. Now, internationally, therapeutic communities have a success rate of 20 to 30%. So we're very grateful for our results. Why we have such high results? We're a small country. We still have values, the value of the family. We have family programs and we support the family in that way. And I do feel strongly that the spiritual component we allow people to explore within therapy and their connection to God and to choose, if they want to, in their free will, a life within the church and to have a spiritual component in their everyday life, then we do see the way forward much easier for these people because you provide for them another support system. These are people, long-term drug users. We need to note that long-term drug users are people that have been using drugs for 15 to 20 years. The people that had it very rough. They're people that have been imprisoned. They have they have a heavy history of illegal activity, substance abuse, dissociation from their families, and a lot of personal and emotional pain. They need to have hope, to be forgiven, to have hope to be taken care of and to care for others, to have hope that the person next to them and allowing God in their lives will cleanse them and help them out in stepping forward and building a new life independent of their age. Average age of people at Agia Skepi is 35 to 40 years old. And yet these people start from zero and they build families, they start working and they have normal, healthy lives. For someone to come to us, because they are long-term drug users, they will stay in the program for a year inpatient and then another year outpatient, year and a half almost. So for 2.5 years, they'll be working on themselves emotionally, getting psychotherapy and getting all the support needed to reintegrate into society with new tools to deal with everyday life.
That was amazing. I have to say, I've witnessed this metamorphosis of people going from zero to having nothing to people having full lives with kids, families, secure jobs. And it's truly very, very hopeful because there's no point where you can say there is no point of return. There is always something that can happen.
Exactly. I want to also point out that a therapeutic community, the way it's run entirely by the clients. And we try to provide within this setting an alternative family. It's a family environment where each will help the other one. It's very interesting that this model resembles very much so a community, a spiritual community, or a community, I would say, where practices within the Orthodox Church we have a lot of common in that way. And I'll point out a couple of things. Within a community, most of therapy is done in group therapy. Group therapy is sharing your experiences and getting some support from each other. It's almost a way to confess what you've done in your life. At Agia Skepi, we have a spiritual father who visits once a week, and people at their own free will, and I find it extremely interesting that almost everybody will have either a talk or a confession session with the spiritual father that visits, because the need to cleanse, the need to start from the beginning is there. So that is a tool that resembles therapy, but also brings it to another level. At Agia Skepi, even church going is optional. So people, if they choose to attend church on Sunday, they'll sign up on a list on Saturday evening, and we transport them to the monastery, which is pretty close to us. And I always find it amazing the amount of people that will sign up on a weekly basis because of that need. The need to turn to God and ask for His help, and ask for repentance, and ask for, to feel strong again and do the right thing. The only other practice that we do that also within treatment is quite appropriate, but it's also an Orthodox practice, is fasting. We do maintain the fasting periods within the Orthodox calendar because we find that self-restraint is what we're trying to build within these people. They've lost their self-restraint within their drug use. So if on Wednesday and Friday, and if during Lent, I restrain from certain foods, I increase my ability to restrain from things that I used to be, abusing. So we find that fasting is a tool that helps people a lot to build more self-restraint. So we're able, confession and fasting has been the two main tools we've maintained within the therapeutic community because we found they resemble so much, they assist in treatment. And of course, a basic and simple prayer before every meal, because we do need to be grateful for what we have. And again, it's at each person's free will to choose a spiritual life. Some people don't and some people do. But you do notice that people who do choose to have a spiritual path, their treatment runs much smoother than everybody else.
If you enjoyed that, you can click the link in the description to watch the full podcast or listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our website. You can also ask questions in the comments below, which will be directed to healthcare professionals in our future weekly episodes. Thank you so much for watching.